Hello everyone, welcome back and I hope you all are doing well. Now let's continue with the chapter. If you remember last period we discussed about respiration, that is in life processes in living organisms. In that we finished with respiration, how respiration is important for us and how respiration is divided into two stages as external respiration and internal respiration, that is breathing and cellular respiration. Cellular respiration, again aerobic, anaerobic. Aerobic respiration we discussed, the process of energy production occurs in three stages. When it is aerobic respiration, the energy is produced in three stages as glycolysis, then TCA cycle, that is tricarboxylic acid cycle, and electron transport chain. So through these three stages the energy production occurs in case of aerobic respiration. We had studied in detail all the three processes. Now we are going to study about how respiration occurs or how production of energy occurs in microorganisms which are anaerobic or which show anaerobic respiration. Now what do you understand by anaerobic respiration? The kind of respiration which occurs in absence of oxygen is called as anaerobic respiration. So in certain microorganisms, especially bacteria, anaerobic respiration occurs, as well as some exceptional cases in human body or in plants also anaerobic respiration may occur. So what happens basically during this anaerobic respiration? During anaerobic respiration, the first stage, that is glycolysis, is common for both aerobic as well as for anaerobic. Glycolysis stage is common. So in glycolysis we already have studied what happens is one molecule of glucose through series of reaction get converted into two molecules of pyruvic acid or pyruvate. So this stage is common for both. Now in case of anaerobic respiration, after pyruvic acid is formed, it may either get fermented by help of microorganisms like funguses, bacteria, or in our body also. So result of that may be formation of alcohol or acids. Now in case of microorganisms like yeast, when glucose is broken down into pyruvate by help of glycolysis, after pyruvate it undergoes fermentation and alcoholic beverages are formed by help of funguses. In case of bacteria, different types of organic acids can be formed, and in case of our body, in human body also, during lack of oxygen, when we are excessively exercising, intense exercise, at that time our body requires more oxygen, and if the oxygen need is not satisfied, our body, in order to get more and more energy, it starts doing anaerobic respiration in muscles especially. That is why when you do heavy exercise, second day you start feeling cramps in your muscles. That cramps in the muscles is due to deposition of acids. These acids cause pain in the muscle. The name of the acid is lactic acid. So lactic acid is formed from pyruvic acid or from pyruvate, which is a result of glycolysis. So this pyruvate basically in our muscles, in absence of oxygen, get converted into lactic acid. This is incomplete oxidation of glucose. During complete oxidation of glucose, we have studied that 38 molecules of ATP are produced through the three stages, that is glycolysis, TCA, and electron transport chain. However, in case of anaerobic respiration, incomplete oxidation of glucose occurs, which leads to lesser amount of ATP molecules, but it is compulsory or it is necessary for our body to get the energy at that moment. So our body, instead of going for oxidative respiration, it goes for anaerobic respiration, or instead of aerobic respiration it goes for anaerobic respiration, so as to gain instant energy. So during this, two molecules of ATP are generated from one molecule of glucose. So that was in human beings. Same way, we had seen alcoholic beverages are prepared by help of microbes like yeast. So this yeast also convert the pyruvic acid into alcohol. Same way, organic acid like citric acid, vinegar is also produced by the same method by help of different microorganisms. So that is how energy production occurs by anaerobic respiration. Now in your textbook there is a chart given on page number 15, the second chart. You can see glucose by process of glycolysis produces pyruvic acid. Now the pyruvic acid has three pathways in case of yeast, in case of microbes, and in case of human muscles and erythrocyte. In case of yeast, this pyruvic acid gets converted into alcohol. In case of different microbes, it gets converted into organic acids like acetic acid or vinegar, citric acid, etc. In our body, it gets converted into lactic acid. So basically, alcohols or acids are formed by incomplete oxidation of glucose in absence of oxygen. That is anaerobic respiration. Now that was all about respiration, that is aerobic and anaerobic respiration. The next point that we're going to start is energy from different food components. But before that, there are two questions on page number 16. The first question is, which type of cellular respiration performs complete oxidation of glucose? We already discussed that. Complete oxidation of glucose is brought in aerobic respiration. Second question, which cell organelle is necessary for complete oxidation of glucose? Obviously, it is mitochondria, because electron transport chain as well as TCA cycle both occur in mitochondria. So mitochondria is the cell organelle necessary for complete oxidation of glucose. So let's begin with the next part, that is energy from different food components. Now different food components, basic 5 food components we have, that is carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, vitamins, minerals. These are the 5 basic nutrients. We also have roughage. Roughage is also part of carbohydrate only. Roughage, or also known as dietary fibers, they are also carbohydrates. So we are going to discuss each and every food component and how it is essential or what function it does for our body. Let's begin first with proteins. Proteins we had done in the first chapter also. We had discussed how proteins are formed from amino acid by help of the process of central dogma or transcription, translation and translocation. So what are proteins? Proteins are nothing but the chain of amino acid. This amino acids, there are 20 amino acids, and from these 20 amino acids, thousands and thousands of different proteins can be formed just by rearranging the sequence of amino acid. So our body requires proteins for many different functions. For example, hemoglobin contains a protein known as globulin, which is responsible for transportation of oxygen. Keratin is present in our skin as well as in the hairs. Then we have immunoglobulins or antibodies, antigens. These all are proteins. Then we have membrane proteins. The cell membrane also contains certain proteins in it. Apart from that, different hormones like insulin, glucagon, somatostatin, these different hormones are also proteins. Enzymes which are used for digestion of food are also made up of proteins. Then muscles contain actin and myosin proteins. So there are many different types of functions of proteins, and our body forms many different types of proteins. Now here you have to understand that the proteins that we eat are very different. Now if we need keratin amino acid or keratin protein for our hair and skin, we don't eat keratin. We eat very different types of proteins from pulses, milk, or many other foodstuffs. So these proteins, when we intake it, they are digested to form amino acids. These amino acids again rearrange themselves in our body and form the protein which is required for our body. So this is how proteins are formed, again from rearrangement of amino acids. The proteins that we eat are different. We digest it, we again form them into basic component, that is amino acid. The amino acids are rearranged according to the need of the protein in our body by help of central dogma, and thus we have produced the proteins. Now different functions also I told you. Hemoglobin responsible for transportation of oxygen, keratin in skin and in hairs, myosin, actin. These proteins are present in our muscles and responsible for contraction and relaxation. Then hormones, different types of hormones that we studied last year. Endocrine system in 9th standard we had studied. So different hormones are majority proteins, growth hormone, somatostatin, insulin, glucagon, all these are proteins. Enzymes like amylase, trypsin, these are also responsible for digestion of food, and these are also proteins. Then cell membrane also contain protein which allow entry and exit of certain substances. Bones contain protein. Osine is the protein present in the bone. So these are all different types of proteins and their functions in our body. Next is lipids. Lipids are nothing but fats that we eat. Lipids we get from oily foodstuffs or oil seeds. So these lipids are actually made up of two substances, that is glycerol and fatty acid. The lipids are made up of compound of fatty acid to which glycerol or kind of alcohol is attached to this fatty acid to form lipid. Lipids also have plenty of functions. I think we discussed this last year also. Different types of lipids are responsible for thermoregulation, maintaining the temperature of our body. Apart from that, there are certain hormones, steroid hormones especially, testosterone, estrogen, progesterone. These are steroid hormones and they are made up, or they have fatty acids, or they have lipid as its base. Apart from that, it also provides us energy when we do not have carbohydrates as a source of energy. Now there is a table given, always remember, on page number 16. Now what does it state? That excess of amino acid, we cannot store the proteins in our body like glucose. Excess glucose is stored in our body in the form of glycogen in livers and muscles. However, that is not the case with proteins. Proteins cannot be kept stored in our body. So whatever amount of proteins are required, we digest from amino acid, utilize to form the proteins, and the rest of it is excreted out in the form of urea. Ammonia get converted into urea and it is excreted outside the body. Then sometimes it may happen very exceptionally when our body loses all the glucose, or when we have complete lack of carbohydrates, proteins may get converted into glucose. There is a different process which is called as gluconeogenesis. Glucose, new genesis formation. New glucose is formed from protein by a series of chemical reactions. Whenever our body is lacking, or total lack of carbohydrates leads to gluconeogenesis, where proteins are converted into glucose. Second part is given in the same thing, that is always remember. Plants produce the necessary amino acids from minerals de novo. Now in the textbook there is a spelling mistake. De novo is actually two separate words, De and Novo. The meaning of de novo is again from the beginning, or out of nowhere. De novo. So plants don't consume protein. They prepare amino acids by themselves from minerals. That is called as de novo. Then an enzyme known as Rubisco is the largest amount of enzyme present on the earth. Out of all the enzymes present in all the organisms, Rubisco is the enzyme which is present in the largest quantity on the earth. So this was about proteins and lipids. I hope you have understood. Now there's one more point on page number 17. There are questions. We'll just discuss those questions. First question is, many times you cannot eat hot food due to inflammation or ulceration in the mouth. So what causes ulceration in the mouth? The ulcers are caused due to deficiency of vitamin B. And second question, some person experience difficulty in night vision since their childhood or adolescence. Now again, people are not able to visualize, or people are not able to see during night or when in the dim light. That disease is known as night blindness, and I hope you all know that night blindness is caused due to deficiency of vitamin A. So from these two questions you might have understood that the next point that we are going to discuss is vitamins, how vitamins are important for our body. So vitamins and the remaining part we'll study in the next period. Till then, do all the homework which I have told, as well as today I'm giving you a feedback form. Make sure that you fill that feedback form. If you want, you can take help of your parents. If there are any suggestions, if you want some changes in the lecture module, you can definitely put the suggestion in it. And that's it for today. Take care.